Come on, sync up. There we are. We're synced. All right. We are live, gang. James Gardner here. My guest today, Kristina Margaret. Kristina, how are you?
Just dandy. How are you today? Thanks for having me.
Just dandy she is. Yeah, you're better than dandy. You're like rock and roll and large and in charge. Here you are. Let's game on, you know?
I guess I'm just gonna, that might be a little bit better. Dandy's so nice.
Well, dandy has a purpose, right? Come on.
Yeah.
Let me just there we are. All right. Sorry, gang, 1 second.
Need a tech guy.
I know, I do. I need a freaking there we go. All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay.
Are we
Kristina
live
Margaret.
to the world?
Welcome to the world of the living. Okay,
Oh
gang. Kristina is, we're going to talk about how we met in a moment. She's a coach like myself. She women empowerment coach, holistic coach. She's a flag bearer of truth, finding the truth of one's soul, which I love, which is my thing as well. And of course, she's the conjurer of the inner child. And so she speaks my speak. She walks my talk. I love it. Kristina, welcome. We're gonna dive in. We're gonna have a little chat about the work we do. We're gonna talk a little bit about my book. Obviously, you've been following my journey as well. And Kristina, do you remember how we met?
I do. You wandered in off the street into my shop with a couple of ladies.
Yeah, my two sisters, Tina and Nicole.
Your witch sisters, right?
My witch sisters, right. And we walked in into your little oasis there. We're like, oh my God. In Ladysmith, for everyone that's yeah, tell us, what's the name of the store?
So you wandered in over a year ago now.
Oh yeah.
It was last Christmas.
And
I have a little witches, the one and only witches boutique in Ladysmith, Spirit House Boutique. And James just wandered in off the street and they did some shopping. And you guys were really like surprised, like that you had stumbled upon this witch's den in the middle of Ladysmith. And you guys were doing a play.
Yeah.
Right? You guys were working on a play that was to do with witches that I still haven't seen, by the way.
It was all serendipitous, right? It was just you were looking for someone to get some support and counsel with some of the things you had going on. Tina was doing a witches show, and Nicole also was doing something to do with a play that she was writing. I think it might have been her Suddenly Susan. I can't remember. And it was all
happening.
All just like, wow. Right. And of course, Tina walked out with, I think she bought a sweatshirt or something from you.
Yeah. And then someone came back in and bought someone else some gifts secretly.
Oh, right. Right. That's right. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even remember.
I remember these things. I was
steel trap.
Sharp. Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great store for anyone that's in Ladysmith. Beautiful little
wants to do some witching.
Let's do some witching.
And it's not just for witches, though. It's for any woman, really. The store is really like was kind of a way to help me start growing my community that I'm trying to grow when it comes to empowering women. So that's really what the shop's about. So it has a huge spiritual aspect, and I wanted this witches boutique because that really speaks to me and who I am. But it also is just a place for women to find things that may bring them joy, or ways to take care of themselves, things to read, clothing, home accessories, candles, incense, all of, I wanted everything. I wanted a woman that wasn't quite out of the broom closet yet to still feel comfortable in coming in.
Yeah. And it feels that way when you walk in there. It's kind of like a sensory experience, truly. There's an shocking, no doubt. There's an energy when you walk in. There's an energy there, and you feel it. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's nice. Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
the universe provides.
Look at that. We got Witch's Den. I'm intrigued. The comments are flying in. Broom closet. Stephanie Mills. Stephanie's on the island. Stephanie's a good friend, dear friend of mine. Steph, make your way down to Ladysmith. Go in
Come
there.
to Ladysmith Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 4.
Because Stephanie's still in the broom closet for sure. She needs to.
It takes a while to get out.
All right, Kristina. So we're gonna dive in. Stephanie says on it. She's on it.
Do it. Get out.
There you go. Let me give you the mic. Why don't you start and we'll dance a little bit, conversation. Obviously you've been following my journey a little bit.
Yeah, I've been paying attention. I'm an avid writer myself. I'm falling on the on and off the book wagon, I should say. I'd like to be on it a little bit longer, but it's like did you say it took 5 years for you to write your book?
2. Just
two. Okay, I don't know where I got 5 from, but like it's such hard work and dedication, right? To sit down and put pen to paper, not that sometimes I'm sure it was pen to paper, not just keypad. Right. So, but I was, interested because you were talking about a lot of this being about your character / yourself, the little you, and can his fantasy life be his reality? So hearing that really stuck with me because I was like, what do you think about this as your truth?
Yeah, well, that's always been my unanswerable question from when I was born. And so the writing process has really shown me that it was a transition to find it. So, in the beginning of the book with little Jimmy, it was all fantasy. The reality didn't really, fantasy was his thing. And that's the world that he lived in and operated in. Because when you're a kid, that's reality to them in a sense, right? No one's telling them, don't do this, or there's zero expectations and all that. And then, as I started to get older and then Jimmy became Jim and walked through that doorway to adulthood, then it was all reality. And then that fantasy, that sense of play and wonder started to dissipate. And then that fissure kept widening. And so that balance, that scale kept going more reality, to the point where, I guess, it's almost 5 years now where, I started to really question my own happiness and started to kind of go down that death spiral, if you will, of wallowing in self-misery and trying to figure out just what the fuck happened to my life and all of that. Then there was nothing. Like I didn't have a reality or a fantasy. It just was like, I was lost.
Same shit every day.
Yeah. Just, on the repeat button and no passion and no romance in every move and just nothing. So, as the book goes through and I go through the final character goes through his transition, now it's the way that I show up, Kristina, is I live in a blend of fantasy and reality. That's my middle lane. That's my sweet spot. And so I dream a lot, and and I've embraced that. And you probably heard me talk about. I honestly feel like I live in a movie. Every day is a movie. That's how I feel. I have a soundtrack. I look for those cinematic moments, and so in some people's eyes, that just means me being a child in fantasy. Well, yeah, it is. Right. And the reality of that is it allows me to be free and to show up and to hold space and like you, help others. So, yeah.
What is it like for you, or what was it like for you to realize the hero within was this child piece of you?
Yeah. Magical, because it's not what I intended when I started out. The hero within was just finding that inner resolve, right? I knew I was always about the hero was larger than life. And I'm like, no, I think the hero's journey is inward ultimately.
Yeah.
And, and I even, bought my website and all that. It's Hero Within. And then though, in the writing process, I'm like, fuck, the true hero is the child within. That's it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a planned thing. It just kind of came out of that creative writing process, which is beautiful.
And maybe the healing process too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
There's a song from the Black Panther soundtrack. It's the Weekend song. And I can't ever remember the actual name of the song, but one of the lyrics in it, and when I have been doing my own healing work on, climbing one mountain of many, this song was playing, and this line comes across the song, and it's like, you need a hero. Look in the mirror, there goes your hero. And like, it just hit so hard. It still hits so hard. And I just like, yeah, so I can really resonate with like just your title alone of the hero within, because we seek so hard outside of ourselves to heal, to find that savior. And like, as a woman, we're taught from the beginning for that, knight in shining armor to show up, and they never fucking come. And until we realize that, look in the mirror, there goes your hero. Until you get that, you're going to keep seeking, right? So it's so profound for you to be able to realize that all of these little pieces of you that got pushed away because they weren't realistic and they didn't mix with an adult are the magic. Mm-hmm. They are the healing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it's, that hero within, that child is the gateway to happiness, to peace, to fulfillment. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Because we came in knowing all along. We came in knowing exactly who we were. We came in knowing that we were okay, that we were enough, that we were worthy, that we were great, that we were magical. But then we're conditioned, mm-hmm. and we're traumatized, and we're layered with all of this shit. And then that becomes one of those coats that we wear, right? One of those mm-hmm. characters that, all these characters that become. In yoga, we would say there are these sheaths, these coverings, these different hats that we wear.
Yeah, it's interesting because that definitely is in my book, and kind of in towards the end when I go into the jungle in my head, right, to kind of find the tree of life and be reborn, if you will. Mm-hmm. It's about shedding those layers of conditioned experience and societal expectations that are put on us from way back.
Yeah, before we're even in charge of understanding cognitively, all of those boxes are already getting checked off for us, right?
Exactly.
Taking your baby into the little clinics to see, what they're doing and marking off all the check marks, and they're 5 months mm-hmm. old in the box. Mm-hmm. We're just set up to just continue mm-hmm. to be part of the systems.
Yeah. And so with the work that you do, then do you get back to that core essence? Is that part of the truth that you bring your women back to?
Yeah. So my tag, my self-made name is like the goddess conjurer. And that really comes from a place of me having to conjure my inner goddess. And, to conjure is that witching side, is to go into like the deepest parts of you to heal from the root. And like, I study yoga, I study Ayurveda, I teach all of these principles. And so I kind of blend all of this like witchcraft and yoga and these cultural things all together. There is no healing as far as I'm concerned unless you are coming from the root. Otherwise, it's just band-aids.
Yep.
It's not easy work. It's not favorable all of the time, but what comes from it, it's, you know, you can't really put words to it almost.
Well, as a conscious male, and because I know your clients are mostly women, as are mine.
So I have thought of having you as the first man on my podcast.
It's, as somebody that's come out of the jungle, and I think, I'll always be walking out of the jungle to a degree. However, for someone that's come out standing completely naked in that truth, in that moment of creation again, and that's why I use the tree of life in the book as a storyline, is it's truly magical, and I can't remember, Kristina, ever feeling so fulfilled as I do now. And it's also, I realize there's a lot going on for me with the book, but the book is mirroring my life, and it's a beautiful story of layers of the same thing happening. Because if you think about it, that reality and fantasy, I'm living it with my book and then me, right? There, it's like it's like it's a movie within a movie type.
Well, I mean, and like I practice manifesting, and that would be considered magic, right? That would be considered taking what you imagine and creating it into reality. And like, we're multi-dimensional beings. We are a product of the universe. We are literally stardust. So anything is possible, and everything is infinite in that.
I love that.
As a man who, like, I at some point think like I would love to work with men because, well, I'm a mother of 2 young boys, young men. And I think, I'm all for women empowerment and stripping away the oppression of women and society and culture and the ideas of who we are and how we're supposed to be. But it just falls so heavily on all people and is in general need healing. And so I have such a soft place in my heart for men, and because I feel like you guys have been really fucked around too in so many ways. And so for you to use the term leading with love as a man, how do you think, what is that taken for you to get there? Because, in this patriarchal society, stereotypically, men leading with love isn't really looked upon in a positive way.
Yeah. It's a really good question, and I do get asked that a lot. I have to say that, I've always walked a blend between masculine and divine feminine. I'd never looked at it as such.
You didn't lose touch with that. Yeah.
No, I never, right. But I've always was, I was like an alpha guy who was sensitive. It was kind of the way I rolled with my life, like I was just never one of these, just caveman style guys. Nothing wrong with that, whatever. It just wasn't me. So I didn't come from like a complete opposite end of the spectrum. Right. However, for me, love was also equated to flowing and just being graceful and ease. So, if I was coaching a man right now, if I was working with him, maybe I wouldn't say love. I wouldn't use that label. I would talk about flow. How can we flow instead of pushing? And then you kind of start to fall into it. And I think that's the way it worked for me. So, when I started my spiritual journey, which was back in 2014, meaning I started to do mindfulness and I started to meditate and just in podcast and things of that nature. That's how I kind of started in, and then I started saying, "Fuck, like, no, I'm a guy who loves love and wants to lead with love." Because when we do that, we take the expectation out of everything. We take the pressure off, and I just felt it was just a beautiful dance for me, and so that's how it landed for me. And I, yeah, I mean, I don't know what that evolution of me will continue to be. I think I'm pretty comfortable in my middle lane in terms of that, Kristina. I don't think I'm going to, be going.
You're not gonna get too loving.
No, I mean, I'm not going to be, I don't know.
We all love and life.
I don't even, I can't think of something because it sounds bad, but I like, I'm not going to just go live in a cave somewhere and beat bongo drums 24/7 and,
right. And you're not all in with that.
No, I mean,
I'm not really into that either.
And that's fine. And that's the path for some people. I like my blend. Let's put it that way. It's a fine vintage.
That's such a great, that's kind of what I'm saying is like, we're all this blend of masculine and feminine, but we're so taught to honor one more than the other. So it's great to see men stepping into this sense of self, right? That flow that's feminine, right? Push is masculine.
Agreed.
So those are just qualities of those energies.
Yeah, and I truly believe a lot of men that push, and I'll speak for myself. I just got tired of pushing. Like the sword gets fucking heavy after a while when you're out there doing battle.
Well, and it is, and that's why we see, men with these skyrocketing suicide rates and this mental health major epidemic going on because we have done men wrong as much as we have done peopling wrong. We lost touch.
Yeah.
We've lost touch with what the truth of life is.
Yeah.
And that's why going back to the root is like so much deeper than just like your sense of self. It's like you can't have that without have gone and started some kind of spiritual practice, some kind of spiritual awakening in a sense, right? I don't believe you can have one without the other.
No. And I do feel like the pendulum's swinging a little bit. I think more men are.
I agree. Yeah.
Realizing that
it's safe.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. That it's safe.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That it's safe. And it's amazing because I've worked with some men and I've worked with a few men's groups, and it never fails. First session, group session, everyone's in there. We're all in there on our Zoom boxes, right? And as the co-facilitator, do my thing, and you can just feel the energy. Everyone's a little bit kind of, kind of gun shy, right? And then halfway through, 3/4 through, you can just feel the cork pop a little bit. And I swear to God, by the second session, guys are crying.
But you're cultivating safety for them. That's why, right? That's all that anyone ever needs and wants is just to be able to be authentic.
And it's maybe that's what you said is men have done wrong or by society in that regards because women can go and
they already think we're fucking crazy. I always say that. I'm like, fucking cry, get mad. They already think you're crazy anyways. Just do it.
That's fucking funny. Yeah, well, maybe I don't know. I mean, yeah, they do. This society does, don't they? Men can show emotion, and women are fucking crazy. There you go.
Yeah. So just fucking go to counseling, get a coach, scream, yell, cry, be wild. Doesn't matter. But like, what permission are we going to start to give men to do this, right? Be soft, be sensitive, say your fucking feelings. Stop being afraid of fear. Yeah. Recognize that you need to feel safe as a human being too.
Well, yes, fear and judgment too. I think a lot of men that I've worked with are worried about what their buddy's going to say or whatever.
Of course. Fuck. How you want to? You know how that's like. You want to be a pussy,
right?
Right. Even though pussy is like totally tough and balls are weak, so people are really obviously confused already.
Everyone's just got their whole thing shifted. It's like a 180 skew here.
We gotta write a book on this.
That's my soundbite, ladies and gentlemen, off this clip. Pussies are tough, balls are weak. Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, it's true. They actually, there is an old saying. So the old saying is a pussy will take a beating, but like, balls, like you just flick them and you guys are fucking down for the count. There's your soundbite.
There it is. And my women community is going to fucking blow up. They're just going to be like, this is the best thing ever. Oh my God. So true though. You're true.
Well, like, look how backwards that is, right? Like, why are we, what?
What?
Yeah, we're gaslighting each other like crazy.
Stephanie says, I love this woman. There you go.
I love you too, Stephanie. Though I can see no one or anything.
I know. That's the thing. That my guests aren't able to see the comment. Actually,
it's kind of less pressure. Like I'm used to Zoom anyways, so I just feel like I'm just sitting here bullshitting with you. So
you can click on the there's a comment thing. You can unclick your comments there, buddy. Oh, right.
Oh, look at this. There's a whole world over here. Thanks, Steph. Wow, Stephanie is on the love.
She's your witch makeover project 2020.
Come over. I've got a brand new manifesting program I'm launching right now. Come and be a part of it. Starts next Thursday. She's got a wolf too as a pet. So there you go. This woman?
Yeah, well, it's a husky, but it's close enough. Looks like a goddamn wolf.
That is the dog wolf.
She's legit. She's no joke. Yeah. Yeah.
James will share my information.
Yeah, I will. Wolfsky. Yeah.
Wolfsky. Yeah. Oh, I have a Pomeranian, but he's fluffy like a wolf, but I think he's like a fox, but I call him Bearsky. But that's not his name. Bearsky, but his name is Fozzie. He has a lot of random names that don't make any sense, but surprise.
Oh shit. All right. Well, let's get. So we've talked inner child. We've talked truth a little bit. Okay. We've talked male and female genitals. We've talked
energies.
Energy, safety.
It's all relevant.
Yeah. So, anything else tickle your fancy you want to dive into in terms of some of the content you've been seeing or reading from me or hearing me talk about?
Well, I feel like I've kind of threw in two questions at once. Because, like, what do you think has changed the most for you as a result of healing and acknowledging these inner child parts of yourself?
Oh, that's easy. I'm just enjoying life.
Oh, sorry for that one.
I mean, I'm playing. Like,
yeah.
That's how I feel every day. I'm playing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some days maybe I play maybe not as hard as others or whatever, right? But it's there. The overarching feeling is wonder, play, adventure.
Yeah.
I can smell that air of possibility that I always talk about. Yeah. And that was gone for a long time.
So do you do a men's group like on a consistent thing, or were you just offering it here and there?
Yeah, I work with Goliath Foundation. So Ben Smith and I are co-facilitators for this organization that deals with men, specifically for men. So we've run some men's groups in there. We also run a BIPOC youth group. So we just finished a cohort with youth, a 12-week program. That was amazing.
That's cool. I've been working with youth over the fall and winter too. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
such great. It's just like, it's so needed. I've been working with young ladies, teaching them, well, the ways of the witch.
Nice.
So it's been really, really cool. And I'm just about to start another level, or round 2 of that program. I was just thinking like how important the work is for, that you could be offering to men. That's why I asked if it was an ongoing thing. I think that's awesome.
Well, we're going to run it again, and you know, we're trying to bring the Goliath into some corporations right now too. Specifically, some of the blue collar, you know, corporations like your rig workers and things like that. You know, just to circle back to what you said about the youth, you know, I was amazed working with these young men. We had between 18 and 20, well, we had 18 and 26, I think. And
that's just like young adults, not youth.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
We're like, that's aging us a lot. Okay. Well, yourself.
All right. Slow my roll, turbo. So,
yeah.
Okay. So 18, well, youth, young.
Like young men.
Young men.
Youth is like 13. Like the girls I'm working with are like 13 to 17. Those are youth.
Well, I said 7. What did I say? 18?
18 to 26. That's like, I had a kid when I was 26.
Well, to me, they're damn kids, guys. The way
that's what I'm saying. Stop me.
So they're youths to me.
All right.
Anyway, it was very humbling to see these men struggling, these young men struggling with a lot of the stuff that you were saying earlier in terms of men. Like they're already falling into that.
Oh, fuck yeah. You could be well into your years of self-destruction by then.
Yeah. So
look at all the great people like that have died by 27, like Kurt Cobain and like so many young men, young people by that age from addiction struggles and things like that.
True.
Yeah. It's hitting you hard by that age. So that's great. That's even better, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, cool. Let's see what time we got. It's 32. We got time for one more question and we'll wrap up. Fire away. Anything you want.
Oh my God, I've run out of questions on my Post-it. Questions. What's next for you, James?
Well, Kristina, next in the grand scheme of things, or after I get up?
What are your plans?
Yeah. Well, my plans revolve around this book for the next infinite number of years, for sure. So, pre-sales are now until pre-sales with this first edition are now until the end of March. Then I'm going to go into phase 2. I'm going to be doing more podcasting circuits, people outside of my community that don't know me, right? And then gearing up for speaking and touring. The way the book is written, it's takes place in different arenas. So I'll be speaking here, Vancouver Island, LA, New York.
You're going to go and speak in all the different arenas that you mention in the book. So you're going to go back to New York and stuff too?
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go back and some of the, in every arena, there's kind of some anchor points, whether it's an organization like the Vancouver Rowing Club, for example, or the Triple Inn Bar in New York or something like that. And so, going back and then chronicling this too.
I was going to say, I hope that'll be really interesting to see where that leads to.
You know what? Yeah. So to answer your question, speaking, and then I also plan to go to Europe. I'm definitely going to the UK. I've been putting it out there, manifesting going to Scotland because Scotland there's a lot of it in the book, a lot of references and stuff. So that's going to take place. And then the other thing is what we were just referencing. The fantasy in me, the little Jimmy, was like, oh, this would make a really cool documentary it's like I retraced the steps of the book with the
Totally.
major milestones from, Side Drive where I grew up and going around and people in the book, characters in the book and seeing if I can get them and even some of the, a lot of the celebrity references in the book and interactions that I've had and a few that I'm still in contact and connection with, having them involved too. And it would just be, I could see it working
And to see like what it feels like now. And like, it's kind of like an integration process almost for you to go in and to revisit those places and then read the excerpt from the book.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Cool.
Totally. Yeah. So, yeah. And, that's that's going to be X number of years. And I was thinking the other day, I had a download. I'm like, I could see a spinoff of this coming. There's there's different styles narrative in the book. There's different writing styles. Right. And there's some prose in there and some of that kind of romantic, poetic way that I like to write. And I could see myself taking some of those snippets out and putting them into little bite-sized nuggets, whether it's a page a day type thing or something like that, all kind of just stemming from this journey.
Totally. And ways to expand on what you've already written, right?
Yeah. Or I may just go complete fantasy and may just do like the adventures of little Jimmy and his stuffed squirrel Rusty and, like shit that's in the book. Like, I don't know, because there's elements of that. Towards the end, I brought the fantasy back in of little Jimmy in my head as I'm going through this, dark nights of the soul. And I could see it as having a kind of an adventure of itself. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing, like how like you realize like those parts of you are so much still alive once that they are, recognized again and like brought forward and how much they have to offer you?
It's fucking powerful.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It really
You're so lucky. You're lucky because, we know generations have gone without those pieces of themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I truly feel blessed. And I'm just a kid in a candy store, a kid in a witch store.
Right? A kid in the witch store. Yeah.
It's having fun. Yeah. So, all right, Kristina. So, where can my community find you? Obviously, they're gonna be able to tag you here. You're gonna see you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Where are you on IG?
At the Goddess Conjurer on IG. And that's like, I don't know, you're gonna put tags. I guess I can put in the comments or something. So at _ goddess.
Okay.
_ conjurer. Kristina Margaret. And my website's just KristinaMargaret.com. All my group programs are on there. Like I said, I've got one launching that begins, I'm in launch right now. So it begins next Thursday. It's a 5-week manifesting program. It's got a group of high vibe ladies. And it's all about supporting one another and manifesting your dreams, getting to the root of why you might not be manifesting what it is you want in your life, getting clear on your desires. So it's called Conjure Your Inner Desires. And that's one-on-one coaching and group coaching weekly. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty active on Instagram, not that active on Facebook. Okay. I do have like my personal page and a business page on Facebook, but I really love Instagram. And I've got a podcast, the Goddess Conjurer podcast. You can check that out. I'm around.
You are around.
Yeah. Cool. I've been doing a little YouTube with the podcast, so it's a little bit of both.
Nice. Good. I'll make sure I drop this on IGTV as well. So I'll make sure we'll tag it and everything. Cool. Well, Kristina, thank you for taking time out of your day to have some convo with me, to share some laughs, share some good little nuggets, I think, of what people can expect from both of us and how we can be of service.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, thanks for chatting about my book. I'm super excited to share this with people. So thank you for your time and jumping at my opportunity or at this opportunity. So
Yeah, I can't wait to read it. I'm very excited. I'm very happy for you. So
thank you,
congratulations on
dear.
all of that.
All right. Christina, you have an amazing day. You hang out for a sec. I'll log off. Everyone out there, mad love to the courageous. All in with love. My journey to the hero within is available now. Links are everywhere. Would love your support. Little Jimmy would love your support. And I think your inner child would too. All right. Cheers.